The question of when will the live stream start is, or should be answered right now because it starts as of right now. Hello and welcome to the very first, or actually, we've done a couple live streams, but anyhow, for me, it's always new. I hope this will work out. This live stream is. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, there's the honest part. My phone just started talking, so I turned it off. I hope we're up and running. I can actually check that in a chat because since I'm new to these live streams, I'm using the software where I can now go to the chat. Um, so right now, I hope you can see the chat, and if you guys can tell me if we're up and running and if you can hear me loud and clear, I'll be more than happy to hear from you, or at least read your message. And you'll be able to read your message here on the screen if I'm not mistaken. This will be very long, that's why I'm not rushing, or it will take some time. Yeah, you can see your chats. Um, right now, it's going to distract you to actually write your own stuff, but I'll get to the chat later. What I want to talk about today is that I'm sure you heard that the exchange office in Prague, one of the very big ones, big chain, actually shut down. And if you've seen our latest video, you know that this venue was on uh, the street named 28. Října, whatever. And it's not the only one that closed. It's fair to say that many of them actually shut down before what happened, because due to the coronavirus, they were, pretty much out of business. But it's fair to say that when tourists started to come back slowly during the summer, these guys were right there, ready for them, and not even only for tourists. They were even cheating other people. But I'll get to that. This will really take some time, and I promise to get to your questions. So if you stick around for a minute, I'll be more than happy to read them and discuss this topic. But as I said, once again, we're discussing today the closure of exchange offices in Prague, and I will try to explain to you how long of a hike this was. This was not an overnight thing, and definitely not for us. It was the biggest part of the deal, or the biggest part of their job was done by Czech National Bank. Quite often, not quite often, but maybe a couple times, I don't want to use the word accused, but I was told by someone from Czech National Bank, you take all the credit. Well, I don't, and we don't. With Honza and our other buddies, we know that the fact that these guys were shut down is thanks to the hard and very, very long work of Czech National Bank. But as I said, this is not only one place. We're talking about multiple places. This one is in the metro station in Florence. Here's another one down in Florence. This one used to be up in Wenceslav Square or nearby. This one is extremely painful to see for me because this is the only cubist kiosk there is in Prague. And this place, I would almost say, rape it and devastated it by putting in not only an exchange office, but also an ATM, as you can see. This one was right next to the main train station. So as you can see, they got really good spots to be in. It's also fair to say that these ones I was showing you, or actually even this one, was rented to them by the city of Prague. The way this worked was that the city of Prague had some space, rented it to a company, and then later the company would give it to the next owner or next company. Thanks to this, the city was making almost nothing. I will be talking a lot of private stuff, or not private stuff, but maybe stuff I shouldn't publish, just to get your attention, of your ears. But I did see many of these contracts, and they were in the lower hundreds of euros a month. Some of them were as low as 100 euros a month for one of these venues. Actually, let me see if I can see it. Yep, this one. It's the metro station Angel. It's actually nearby where I live. And when I saw that this place popped up, I was like, how the hell and why they're here? And then I found out that it's because buses to Český Krumlov, which is a very popular tourist destination, leave from this metro station. So that's why they also occupied this space. Originally, it was a place that sold some candy, not Captain Candy, but some candy, and these guys took over. So I wanted to show how big of a scale this was. There were around 8 of these places. Now, you could always recognize them by this exchange list. What you're looking at right now is what a tourist would see if he would walk into this place. He would see this, or he or she would see this huge sign saying 0% commission, but then you walk in and you look at the exchange list, and this is what you see. They were different colors, orange, yellow, blue, but they were all the same. They all had how much you can buy euro for, which is actually we sell. In other words, they are selling you euro. So let's say you walk in and you want to buy, but they sell you 1 euro. It would cost you, in this case, 30, let me highlight it for you. See that? Almost 32 crowns. Usually the euro is around 25. But you want the other way around. You want to give them euros because you're a tourist. So you want to look at this part of the board where it clearly says, oops, sorry, it says 24.97, which is a good deal. Let's say back then euro was 25, 25.50, whatever. So you're like, oh, for 1 euro I'm going to get 25 crowns? Well, that's a good deal. But then you would give them 100 euros and you would only receive 1,600 crowns. And at that point you would say, what the hell? How did that happen? And the person would point out, well, here, down here is the actual exchange list. Here, you can see right here, 16 crowns. And I would say, well, but I was looking up here. I was looking at 25. And the person would say, yeah, but this is not exchange list. I'm zooming on this, and I'm making this quite large for you. But if you're just a silly tourist, which I'm sorry, but most tourists are, you don't realize these things. You don't recognize them. I'll go very briefly to the chat if I'm boring you already. Right, basically it's just people saying hello. Well, hello to everyone from around the world. I'm sorry that I will stick to what I was saying and talking about. As I've mentioned before, this stream will take for some time. So if you guys want to stick around and hear the good parts of the story, still yet to come. I'm like teasing you like this is a TV show. Now notice all the exchange lists had different colors, but they were actually for the same exchange offices. Well, I've always thought the problem is only in the actual exchange. In other words, the person gives them money, they get not a fair deal. But then I suddenly realized that there's different company names written on each of these boards. So whenever you look at the bottom of the board, you always see, I don't know if you actually can see it, you can here. Oops. Lumex. Another one was Pemex. Another one was, geez, I'm forgetting these names. GMO. Another one was Changer. Another one was Shivas Invest. These were just, made up names of companies, but they all looked the same. And I never thought of this, like, why should this bother me? Why should this be a problem that there's, one company, but it's run by 7 different companies? But then the Czech National Bank started to fine these companies, and they would give a fine to one company, and then they would take their license away. But they would just change to a different company, or the one that would have one branch would suddenly have 2 venues or 3. So this was their protection against fines and license being taken away by the Czech National Bank. And the Czech National Bank was very often giving them fines. They were starting low. They were starting at 20,000 euros, eventually going much, much higher. And even the Czech National Bank was saying in their resolutions or in their statements, they were saying, this is exactly the same thing like we fined a couple months ago. I mean, look at it. It's the same thing. Because the people were saying, like, no, come on, this is, how others do it. And the fine is way too big. And they would say, well, you're doing the same thing that that guy is doing. But it was actually, in my opinion, the same guy. And now I want to prove to you why my opinion, but not mine, but our team, how we came to the conclusion. We've made a show about this. We've showed it on multiple episodes, how we got to the conclusion. But I think if I can slowly talk about it, and then maybe answer many of your questions, and also if there's hackers watching, you guys are always a big help. So let me go once again here, showing that each venue would have, a different name, but actually looking, roughly the same. Here's another one. Once again, just a different name, company, different owner, but what was happening inside was the same deal. They even used like the same stickers, same font. They didn't really bother with this because you're going to the place where they print out the names, so you might as well just get it for all your offices, right? So here's proof number one, how we or I believe that these were all owned by the same person. So we're talking about 6 different companies on 6 different places in Prague that they claim, oh, we don't know those people. They have nothing to do with us. So why is there a security camera or security cameras? And they're all fed to one place. In this case, the exchange office that was actually owned by a person that we believe may be behind all these exchange offices. By the way, why am I going through all this? I will eventually get to it a bit later. But this was the first thing that, struck our eyes. There are, 7, 8 different camera feeds from different companies, from different venues, all feeding into one computer. That's strange, right? Let me go to the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not. What can hackers do for you? We'll get to it. I'll try to go through the chat a bit. Do you want to hack these people who run the places? Well, as I've said, I'll try to get to where I'm going with these major topic of this channel right now. Yes, it is. The reason this is the main topic is because after 6 years, these places shut down. So once again, how did I find out this feed was fed to one person? Well, I took this picture. I simply looked inside the exchange office and I took the picture and I said, there's 8 different security cameras in one exchange office. Why is that? And I could easily recognize all these places. I'm like, why would somebody have a security camera from a different exchange office? Let's go to next picture. This is yet another picture I took. And oh boy, can I get in trouble for this? Maybe. Do I care? Maybe. This is a text message among the people working in the exchange office. I don't know how much of it you can see. At the top it says exchange office closure or leaving the exchange office. In other words, this is a WhatsApp group where people would chat about what's happening in the exchange offices. So you can see in the first message, it says Lagerka, which is a nickname for one of the places. Then under it, there's a completely different name, which is Mustek. Yet again, these two were claiming to be different companies, but they're communicating here. I'm pretty sure somebody who runs these places is now watching and he's going like, what an idiot, this is completely not true, or it's actually this way, or how did he get this picture? And, whatever. Like, guys, game's over for you. And so the guy, what he's sending is, Rubesh is here. Also, if you feel bad that I'm showing these pictures, you'll understand in a minute that I think I have the full right to. The guy just writing, Rubesh is, that's me, is asking me something, I'm just gonna ignore him. Another thing that I noticed in this exchange office was this list of hours. This clearly states that they do have a system where they control all their work. This was visible from outside the street. I just looked inside. I'm not sharing any sensitive information with you. And these are all nicknames, once again, as you can see, the color ones for the exchange offices that claim and pretend in front of our law and Czech National Bank to be different exchange offices. Yet, they all have the same management, all run the same way. Am I the only one who can't hear him? Well, if you can't hear me, I would love to know. So if you guys can, I'm going to go quickly to the chat. And if you can hit me if you can actually hear me, that'd be awesome. And yes, Jim Mack is asking. Jim Mack was asking, yeah, you guys can hear me. Can you just fine? Great. Let me go back to where I was. Sorry, this is way too slow. So here we go. Here's another great picture. Oops, I want to show you the scene. Yet another picture we took inside the exchange office. And it's a picture of us. Check it out. Where am I? There we go. That's me. That's me. That's my buddy Chris. And this is my, not a colleague, oops, but that's another journalist who was covering these exchange offices. And all these other people are actually employees of Czech National Bank who are doing a checkup on the exchange office. So they would walk in to see if they're violating the law, but these people already had their pictures. So they would know that if these people show up, behave. This picture was hanging in the exchange office for a long time with my bloody face there. Well, I was happy at least they know who I am, and that it's kind of nice that they would hang my picture there. But I hope you get my point. Like, this is bizarre. And once again, funny enough, this was not only hanging in one place. This was also hanging in another exchange office that claims to be from a different company but owned by a different owner, blah, blah, blah. You know, the same story. So this is exchange office at Prague 5. This is exchange office at Prague 6. Unfortunately, I can't see the entire picture, but you can easily compare this part of the picture. You can see this, oops, this is way too fat. But I guess we do agree that is the same set of picture, correct? I hope you guys agree with me. These guys working there had strict rules on how to behave. One of them was if I show up with Honzik and with the crew, it said here, this is just funny bit. Oops, this will not work out. If Rubesh shows up, just do the gesture of silence, which is what they were doing. When this all started and we would walk in, we would, I don't want to say argue with them, but they would talk to us. They would sometimes give us information that could help us and lead us somewhere. But at this point, they told their employees, whoever the owner is, said, do the gesture of silence. This entire paper you see was very important for us also for another reason. And here it says, I hope you guys can see it. Oh, you can't. Oh, there we go. So here, these are all the venues. So once again, the entire reason I'm showing you this, I'll get to it in the end, I promise. So once again, they are claiming we're different companies. We have nothing to do with one another. So why do you have a list of all of them on one paper? And the best part is, best part, I love this one. So here it says, it's in Czech, so I'll read it for you. This part right here, check it out. Oh. So it says, venues or branches. Don't mix up the names of the company that own the branches. If you need to contact for police or the customer, it's always on the receipt that you give them. And it's also on the glass and on the door. And it's also on the stamp. But here, just so you know, Lumex is on these places, Exclusive Change is here, Pemex Change is here, Shivas Invest is here, and Top Směnárna is here. Kind of weird. But you know, once again, it may only be that they share the same workers, but wouldn't that just be weird? I don't know. I'm sure one girl would know. Hope you're watching. All right, let's move on. By the way, the information on this paper really helped us a lot. It's sort of a thing that if you do have sensitive information, you may not want to like hang it on the glass. Also applies for passwords. If you do have a password for a computer, the place where not to put it is your computer screen. I'm just saying, it's a pro tip. Fines. Now we're finally getting to the fines. So here you can see all the companies. Oops. Can you guys let me move my window or make myself even smaller here? How's that for a editor? So all these names you can see Comodimex, Exclusive, blah 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 blah, and they're listed in the order when they were given fines by the Czech National Bank. So we're starting off October 2016, ending up in, what is it today? October 2020. So it took 4 years to eventually take them all down. You can see the sums of how much they had to pay. They're in Czech crowns. So we're finishing on 12.5 million crowns today. And if I move the board a bit, this is the best part, or the one I like the most. This is how the owners of these owners were changing. So they were all starting with this group of people that do know each other. They know of each other and they do know each other. Eventually, all the companies that were fined these ridiculous sums like 3 million crowns, 2.5, 2 million crowns, 1.5, and 1.5 ended up being owned by people who are not aware of the fact they own an exchange office. And I may have talked about this, or we talked about this in the video. By the way, all this was work of an amazing team that I was lucky enough to work with. I had no idea this could be done from behind of your computer. It was with God's help, literally. Really. So I doubt you guys are watching who worked on this, but holy moly, what a great job, guys. We were able to track these people down who now own these exchange offices. So you might have seen the episode where we go to talk to Mr. Garay, who is, I believe, still the owner of the place. And he has no clue. He's just a guy from a village in Slovakia who signed a piece of paper. And I guess at this point he owns some money to our state, if he didn't pay it, which I don't know. And there's other ones, Mikola Bondar and Ivan Boda. To one of these guys we actually called. You don't want to know how we found the number. It was an amazing job of my colleagues, once again. And they managed to find a number for this worker. It matched his place where he lived. It matched his birth date, matched his name, obviously. And on the phone, it was bizarre. I couldn't understand Ukrainian, but we had a translator. And of course, this guy has no idea he owns and runs an exchange office business in Prague. So where did we get with this? It was a long stream, but I'll get to your questions, I promise. I see them coming up, but I'll get to them 1 minute. We don't know if these people will pay the fines. and because I don't know if they paid it. I do not have a legal way to find out if they paid the fines or no. So if we're short of 12 million crowns, which is almost half a million euros, which was the clickbait of this thumbnail that you just clicked on, um, I believe the actual owners should pay it. And I believe that we shouldn't have a way how to avoid these things. Like if I park my car incorrectly, I should pay the fine. And I'm talking about 20 euros for bad parking. Here I'm talking about half a million euros. So I do hope the cops will eventually get on this case. We want to get on this case because I do with Hansa and our friends and partners and colleagues. We do want to get to the bottom of this or to the top of this because I believe these people. Imagine you work for a Czech National Bank, you do all this work, and then and I know they're not the ones sending. I'm talking broad here. So if somebody from Czech National Bank is watching, please don't be mad for not saying the correct details. But you you do all this work. It took you years. The papers, the amount of text that you have to go through, and the amount of checkups on these places you have to do is insane. And then at the end, you give a fine, and the fine goes to a guy in Ukraine. Well, I'm almost certain he didn't pay it. I mean, it's a guy in Ukraine who's a construction worker. So I definitely do want to find out. I know this is beyond Honest Guide, because Honest Guide, Honest Guide is telling you, have a drink here. It's definitely not telling you, we're going to find out if this construction worker in Ukraine has, roots here and there and that. Let me go to the chat. So if you have any question regarding this topic that I've been talking, um, um, and so let me get, oh, you guys did the conversion to euros. Thank you so much. So I was just shy 40,000. Hello to everywhere around the world, but I'm really trying to go here to talk about the exchange office issue. So I admire that you guys are watching from all around the world. My dad is gonna cry. Um, just joined. Can you just sum up what's happened so far? Okay, let me go to the beginning for you, man. Uh, so let me, there should be blah, 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 between watching your videos and middle classes thing. You're watching my video in between online classes, man, you shouldn't do that. But unfortunately, I don't see any questions regarding the exchange. Wait, so the guy had no idea he owns half a million to the government? No, and it's not one guy. As you saw, the names are changing at the end. So the final owners of these places, there's a couple of them, and I doubt they know it. So somebody's asking if the Czech state can demand money from the Ukrainian guy. I believe so. I will actually have to go to the questions here because then they don't roll up. So the question from Jan is, as I said, if the Czech government can go after this guy. I hope so, but they're just going to find a construction worker who has no money. Why did it close? The Czech National Bank took away their license, which is partially what I was talking about now. How did you find this all out? OT, out, maybe. As I said, it was a team. How much money could they have earned on this is a good question. In the papers from the Czech National Bank, it actually shows how much was their turnover each year. So they were big. It was a lot of money, especially considering you can't see their actual income, but you can see they had a turnover of, and I'm making this up right now, but it can be found in the papers, let's say €1,000,000. Then if you're giving 16 crowns for €1, your profit's like 40%. So that's a good deal. Somebody's calling me a gangster. Well, I'd like to point out that I'm not a gangster. I believe not even the guy owning this place or whoever it is, because a true gangster can stand up to what he or she is doing. Uh, if there were consequences for the woman who kept the store open after losing their license, I absolutely do not know. I hope she will. There will be no consequences for her, because to this point, she, it wasn't her fault. Like I doubt she knew that this was going on. Do you think it's realistic to shut them all down? Um, So they all shut down. All the ones who were violating the law did shut down. Uh, there are exchange offices that are not um, in your favor. They don't have good deals, but they do not violate the law. These guys were violating the law. So we can keep on doing our show and tell you this place is bad or it sucks. It's like if we go in front of Starbucks and we say, maybe we don't like the coffee here. It's expensive. We can go to this one. But in this case, they were actually violating the law. Right. There's a great question from Hellman that, silly me, I didn't add that to the. Uh, um, uh, Dude, so you were asking, I'm sorry, I'm getting lost in all the windows here. Let me get to how can a notary uh, put a stamp on a paper when somebody signed it, but he was not present while signing the paper. We're discussing that as well. We're, I would say, onto that topic as well. But let me show you this. Check this out. Where do I find this? All right. So now you guys can be the judges of this. Give me 1 second here. All right. Let me go here. All these are the same signature. Right? Right? How about that? Kind of strange. Uh, so yeah, man, this kind of answers your question about how can this all be going on. If I'm going to sue them, absolutely not. I have no intention of suing someone. I think the state should deal with that. Um, I will once again go to your questions here, guys. I'm sorry, there's a lot of them popping up. Do you think the scam exchange office owners will come up with some new scam idea after Corona? Um, if and whose question was that? Seat Abdul? No. No, that was not you, man. I lost your name. I hope they will not come up with anything new. I'm pretty sure they will. I'll have my eyes open. So if they will run a business that, I will be able to see with Honza, or we will able to, I don't want to say uncover, but if it will be a legal business, we'll definitely have our um, eyes opened. Somebody wrote, say something in Czech, but he made the worst grammar mistake possible. So I'm not going to reply to that. Too many questions popping up. Is it possible that in the future there could be others like those? Yeah, quite possibly. When we did an interview with Het, or the one guy below in the Czech National Bank, he said that they can't do much about it. If they will open up a new company under new name, they can't just say, "Oh, it's you guys." No, they can do that. Um, Somebody's asking about how the mayor was dealing with this. Uh, well, let's see, we're far away in the video, so maybe you guys will not get to it. But I was in touch with his team, and basically we were discussing, I wanted them to move out of places that were rented by the city. And they said, we can't. The contract was signed 20 years ago for 2 more years. And I said, this is nonsense. Like, you guys can absolutely, oops, sorry. You guys can easily kick them out. And they didn't want to hear about that. Eventually, I don't want to say convince them, but I did say there are ways. And the way was to talk to the company, as I've mentioned. So you would have city would own a space, would rent it to one company, and then those guys would rent it to the scam exchange office. And I just said, you can't rent out space to somebody who violates the law. And so the city pushed on the middle company, and then the middle company pushed on the scammers. And actually, for like 2 days, they did change the exchange lists to not violate the law. But that was just for a couple days. Eventually, they were just kicked out or lost their license. I'm sorry, they were never kicked out. That's fair to say. Let me go to your questions for a couple more minutes. I have no idea if you guys are having fun or no. What happened to the huge exchange office at the center? I have no idea, Nicola, which one you're referring to. It's closure, not closure. How about that? So thank you so much. So how about I fix that? Do you guys even mind that there's a grammar mistake and I'm... Oh boy, I'm so lame. Whoever pointed it out, you got a beer on me when you're in Prague. Sorry. Any other scam exchange places left? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the chat here. There are no exchange offices that would violate the law as of right now. So they may have bad rates, very bad rates, but there are none left right now. So I thought this would be a great idea to actually have this chat running here, but it seems like people are just writing, weird stuff. Not sure if there's somebody watching who's interested still, but I want to show one more thing that I consider to be disgusting in a way, and that's, remember seeing this place? Right, so you can see how there's arrows pointing, saying ATM, 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 right? Well, what these guys were also offering, and this is a completely different story, but I felt like I'll share it with you. What they were offering also is that you could withdraw money out of your credit or debit card. So you would hand them your card, but what they would do is they would charge you 40% fee for getting money out of the card. And not 40% on top of how much you're getting, but 40% from the total amount. So get this. You come up to this place with a credit card and you say, I want 1,000 crowns. They would charge you, and I'm not kidding you, 1,660 crowns. Because from 1,660, 40% is 660. Right? Well, to prove my point, this is their instructions on how to do that. So as you can see, it's kind of complicated here, but main thing here is that the capital or the bold letters here, what they say is, if the people notice, if they notice that they've been overcharged, it says, oh, the fee is for the issuer of the card. It's for the person giving us the terminal here. And it's for banks, so they allow this transaction. Also, service charge is for card issuer. Yeah, you see it in English, I'm sorry. With this bargaining, it says, gain their trust, look self-confident, use words like good, normal, standard, usual. Tell them that you can give them 25% discount, which will only result in 30% fee. It's for regular customers only, repeat customer, okay. And say, very good price for the city center. Velmi dobrá cena v centru Prahy. That's just disgusting. It makes you want to vomit. I actually talked to the guy who was running this ATM service. I doubt he would watch now or he would know. There's actually, don't call him, please don't do that. Let me put that away just in case you guys would come up with that idea. Yeah, let's put the whole thing away. I'll go back to the exchange office. And he was great. He said, what's wrong about it? It clearly states on the board. And it was there. It was there in tiny, tiny, tiny little letters. And it was just bizarre. And we were from like different universes. We were from different planets. I just said, I don't think this is fair. And he said, but it's there. And I only want to have happy customers. I don't think anybody can be happy if you withdraw 1,000 crowns and you pay 660 on top of that. Imagine getting $100 out of ATM and you would pay $66 fee for that. Um, I'll be honest about this, and well, since they lied, I'll tell the truth. Uh, as it said on the paper, if the tourists start arguing about how come I got 1,000 crown in my hand, but you charged me 1660, they were supposed to say, oh, it's for the person who runs the terminal, the bank. Well, I took a picture of that, and I saw that it's a very popular Czech bank. I'm not going to name them, but they had their sticker on the terminal. And I posted it on Instagram. And somebody from the bank actually called me or texted me and said, where is it? And I said, it's one of the exchange offices. And through your terminal, they charge 60% fee. The terminals disappeared within 2 or 3 days. So mad respect to this bank. They do some other shit that I disagree with, but this was like spot on. This is how big companies should work against these little scammers. I'll go once again to the chat real quickly. Is there something vacationers can do aside from avoiding these places? Well, guess what? We've done something called the Honest Guide, and there's like 250 videos where you can obviously watch what to do. Honest Guide, will you do a video recommending good and honest exchange rather than just pointing out the bad ones who scam? Would be nice to give the good ones a shout out and help them with business. Alexander, your wish is my command. We do have a, well, first of all, we've mentioned good, honest places, you know, a gazillion times. The reason people usually watch the bad places is because, I guess, it's more entertaining for them. But we do have map of honest places, and I'm looking at it right now. I'll show it to you. You can find the map on our, whatchamacallit. You can find it on our website, which is honest.blog, which I still think we have the coolest website name. And this is what it looks like. This is the map. And when you say rather than, well, check out how many times the map was actually viewed. It's 877,000 times somebody opened this map. So we do try to help honest businesses. It's what we do most of the times of our, you know, show. Places like these, they're in no specific order. It's not like I picked only some of them. I try to put as many in as possible. I try to sometimes keep this updated. I should, when tourism will come back in masses again, I should have this updated so people can use it. But we do. Rather than showing a specific place, which we do quite often, we try to educate people on how to actually behave in the office, in the exchange office. Let me go back to the live streaming here. Alpha Exchange, been going to them for past 4 years. Honest guys, yeah, there's many of them. Threatened by the guys involved in the scam. If we've ever been threatened, no, I don't think so. Obviously, they will send their lawyers, and you know, no. Can you find the addresses of people like Juraj Palaga out on the internet? Yes, that was the trickier part, how to get these people. And that's where we had a person who was helping us. This guy, or maybe a girl, who knows, is unbelievable in looking up these information. You'll get a lot of public information, but usually you'll just end up at a fake address or, you know, some office that there's just nothing there. So for Palaga, for this guy, we had like 5 different addresses within you know, a couple towns in Slovakia. So we were lucky enough to find him. Sorry, I had to sip on water. I was talking for like an hour already. Why can't I send a super chat? I have no idea what a super chat is. I'm sorry. But I guess we will figure this out. We will figure this out later. As I said, I'm new to this. to these live streams. I have no idea how many people are watching right now. I have no idea what was going on. But anyhow, now's your time to shine again. If you guys want to say hi to your mom, here's your chance, since I've already um, prepared this. Um, that's it. That was the talk about the exchange offices. Thank you for asking a couple of questions. Super Chat is paying for comments during live streams. Well, we will have to figure that out with Hansa. It would, I guess, help if people could, pop their question, because there were so many questions just running. I wasn't really able. But consider this to be a test live stream. Sorry, I'm not answering the questions that are repetitive about other topics, but I really wanted to stick here with the exchange offices. Somebody's asking about the checkpoint that closed 2 years ago. Airport exchange offices did approach them. The contract is for years and years. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. I promise next time this will be even better, and next time I will have Hansa here on a Skype, because I will figure it out till then how to do that. All right, stay safe wherever you are. I was not talking about coronavirus. Sorry if you were hoping for that. I hope you were not. But stay safe, wash your hands, keep distance, and wear a mask if you're told to, please.